So, welcome back to part 2 of the Mark Harrison edition of the Partner Podcast. Mark, welcome.
Thank you.
Right. So we touched a little bit earlier on, a little bit about technology, and we went down a route about the old, I was going to say CR7, but it's
CR7.
Yeah. I want to just dive a little bit deeper about technology. Sure. We always had products in the LV offering which have been differentiators and complement basically the TIA platform. Is there anything new on the horizon that you wanted to sort of share?
Yeah. I think that evolutionary journey, sounds very posh, doesn't it? But has been going for a while. But if we went back in time, I don't know, 10, 15 years, it was pretty much a one-trick pony, I think, in the world of LV, which was Simacode, which I think you're probably all familiar with, stands for Siemens Motor Control Device. And that was the interface between the automation system and the field level devices, whether that be Profibus back in the day, and it's all evolved to Profinet now. And that was specific to the low voltage control gear, motor control gear world. Now, without going off on a tangent and telling the whole history of our introductions, obviously that evolved a little bit on the control gear side with the ET200 SP motor starters and starters that will sit directly in the rack. And we just talked earlier about the 3RC7, which is the latest development on that side. But what's encouraging and what's new is that digital journey is happening in parallel with the low voltage switchgear side of things.
Oh, right.
So much so now that it's been rebranded, Centron Digital. Ooh. So again, very top level overview. Centron, as I mentioned before, is our low voltage power breakers. So the air circuit breakers, the molded case circuit breakers, and then the miniature circuit breakers. So if you think of electrical distribution system, you have an incomer to a building or a panel, then you have outgoing ways, and then you have sub-distribution and final distribution. All of them products now from Siemens can sit in a communication capable fashion, and you can get information out of them back into whether that be a building management system, BMS system. So you can start measuring, as you can with the control gear, number of switching cycles, number of trips, but also get that energy information out, which is key. So sustainability is obviously the buzzword around everything, as it should be at the moment. We don't save people energy. However, we can be an enabler to their journey to zero carbon.
Which seems very big on with sustainability.
Exactly,
and all this,
exactly. So if you're not monitoring your energy, how on earth do you know where you're going to save it? And by putting our products in there, that's the first step. So again, similar to the Sirius portfolio, all of these sit in the TIA arena now as well and can be configured the same way. So some really clever stuff on that side. So it's not just your low voltage motor control, it's your low voltage switchgear as well, which is all fully digitalized and integrated into that environment. So really good. But the challenge comes then, it's the conversations we're having with people have had to evolve. So we've had to slightly evolve the way we go to market. And this might lead into one of your questions later on, that we can't do everything.
No.
As Siemens, you'll have heard of the accelerator probably been bandied around. We do have to work more and more with ecosystem partners and solution partners, distribution partners even, who can bring them expertise to integrate the good products that we've got in the portfolio and the information out of that into the wider system, because otherwise I'd basically have to form a new department, basically, you know what I mean, which is like a solutions business. We're not a solutions business.
No.
We are a product business.
Yes.
However, we can deliver a solution.
Yeah.
And we will do that working alongside our partners.
Which is absolutely, one of my core focuses, as you well know, on that front. Has then, and you may have asked this earlier, but, me and you are a certain age where there'll be
You cheeky.
there'd be a guy with a demo case. There you go. Does that still happen, or is it more now like this solution business, understanding the business, what they're doing, how it all fits? you've got a panel, you've got your PLC, it's run by the TIA software, you could have the whole lot, the range. Is that what it is like nowadays, or have I missed the bit completely?
No, it has evolved, and I cannot remember the last time we went to speak to a customer and started the conversation by opening a panel or a case, pulling out bits and bobs. We always lead with what is the customer trying to achieve, in terms of are they looking for a solution, what is their problem, and what can we offer out of our portfolio to solve that problem for them, rather than just here's something with some features and benefits on it. However, I would caveat that there is still a need for that very, well, let's call it basic, or that route one product sale, depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So if you're going to see a simple panel builder who's not the end user, who, for want of a better expression, doesn't really care what's being done with the final panel, they may just want a certain feature, whatever. Yeah. So it's evolved, but it's not been totally left behind. And I'm a great believer. I'm quite old-fashioned, and because that's where I've come from. I'm an electrical engineer. That you absolutely, working in my department, need to know your volts, amps, and kilowatts, as well as your bits and bytes. So there'll always be, while I'm here, there'll always be a need for that basic power knowledge, but also your wider solution knowledge as well. Yeah.
Okay. So that's actually leads, I'll tell you what, it sounds like it's been put together earlier. That actually leads to my next question. That's amazing, this. I get some people question the value of our partners, whether they're a solution partner or a distribution partner. And I know you've partially answered this a minute ago, but how do you value that landscape of this, when they question the value of what a partner brings? Yeah,
well, they've always been very valuable. I should say, sorry. Distribution partners do what we can't do. We don't stock in the UK, so the very mechanics of how we take our products to business, to market, I should say. So they're vital in that environment. But I suppose repeating to a certain degree what I said before, more and more now, if we're talking about a complete solution to a customer, then we just can't do that. And we've tried. And I'll not lie, sometimes we mess it up, and it becomes very, very messy because we try to pull other people in and bits of parts of Siemens and whatever, and then it turns out that the customer might have to place one purchase order for the products and another with another Siemens department. We're not geared up that way. But using the partners as an integrated part of that solution, that ecosystem, as we call it, is so much more efficient. And it gives us a much better impression to the customer if they can just go to, a partner. And we'll do all the mechanics and the working behind the scenes to deliver that solution. So waffling a little bit there, but very important. Ultra important, and only becoming more important as we go forward. So,
Well, that's pleasing to hear. So you mentioned earlier on, I'm not going to go back to technology, but you did mention, a couple of products that you're sort of quite excited about that's coming out. How do you see control products going forward in the future? Now, you've seen the evolvement, haven't you? You've seen a basic contactor, then it's an intelligent contactor, then, intelligent overloader. There's a whole range of intelligent products. How do you see that in the future? Because everybody's talking about AI and things like that. Do you see is there any value in it, market in it, or is it just, am I gone off on a complete tangent?
Well, you're always going to need the products we sell. You know what I mean? There isn't going to, something going to be invented for wireless power, for example. So you're always going to need something which is switching things on and off, and physics just says the more power you're switching on, the more copper you need in it, so the bigger things. So that's never going to go away. I think, thinking about it specifically from our partner network, specifically, that as they evolve, so what I've previously talked about, they become more integrated into the automation systems, and as things like sustainability are written more into legislation and actually, rather than a nice to have, actually become things that people have to do. I'm quite optimistic because I think it will not force people's hands as such, because we never want to do that. And you're well within your rights to use whoever's control gear you want, even if you're a solution partner. However, we do have the best integrated solution with our higher level automation, and I think as these things progress, then benefits will become obvious. You know what I mean? So, the need for the clickety-clack again is never going to go away. No. But the need for the intelligent clickety-clack is going to become ever more prevalent. So yeah, optimistic, I would say.
That's great. So, Mark, time has flown by, and I thank you for the support and being our latest guest.
No problem. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
That's great. So I hope you enjoyed listening to the Partner Podcast. Stay tuned for future episodes. We would love it if you could like, share and promote this podcast. My name's Mark Gutteridge. Goodbye and stay safe. Thank you.